This week with the book, what we've been talking about is how to deal with audio and video files with Android. So what I want to do this video is a little something different. What I want to do is try to connect some of the Google Developer API, how to register for a key, that kind of mapping stuff that we talked about in the book, with some of the new things that are out there available from Google. So there's this thing called the YouTubePlayer API, YouTube Android Player API. That's fairly new, at least at the time of this video recording, from Google. And basically what it does is it lets you play YouTube videos on Android. So it's a fairly simple call. All you need is a developer key, you need a library, and you can launch an intent to actually play YouTube. So what it kind of looks like is this. So this is a emulator of my phone. It actually has to be played from an Android device. So I've added a button, as you can see, that says play video, exactly like we did with show events from before. If I click play video, what it does is it grabs that YouTube ID that you see at the bottom, and it loads the actual video on the available screen. So this is Jason Mraz's video with that ID playing directly from YouTube. Don't have to do a whole lot. It's fairly easy. If I rotate my screen, it'll fit. So let's go through how to add that. So the first thing that you need to do is go out and if you look for the Android YouTube Player API, you'll come upon this page. And this page basically will walk you through. It will basically walk you through how to call. This is the page you want. It'll actually walk you through what this app does and how to call it. If you go here and you click download, you'll see I already downloaded it, but you'll download this zip file. That zip file will have samples, it'll have a lib folder, a lib file, have a bunch of things that you need to actually or can use to use this API. So the first thing I have to do is I need to get the lib file that contains all the code for this into my class path. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Next, I'm going to need to register with YouTube to get a developer key. And then finally, I'm going to make a call to YouTube to be able to load a file. Then I'm going to go back and refactor the existing code that we've been using on the My Music List application and show you how you can inject this in there to be able to have play music from Google or a video from Google. So first thing is get this library into our class path. So what we've been doing with Gradle so far, we've been able to just compile with a Maven repository dependency that would allow us to pull in a library from the kind of publicly available Maven repo. At the time of this video, the YouTube Android Player API is not available on any of those public repos. So what we have to do is a little something different. So what I created was a folder called libs right inside of my music list, and then I've uploaded the YouTube Android Player API and this property files that came with it. Put both of those there. Then down in my dependencies, rather than doing this dependency that's kind of the Maven-based approach that pulls from that Maven repo, what I did is compile files pointed to libs and then the jar file. So this will pull a dependency out local to the file system or local to my project. So as you make a change in here, you'll see Gradle will say, hey, there's been a change since your last, you need to sync. Make sure you click sync now. And then if you come over here underneath external libraries, once the sync is complete, you'll see that all these libraries that I'm including in this particular project will pop in just a moment. So build's complete, and if you look over here, you see that there's the JSON Jackson, and you don't actually see it because it's pulled up from here, but the Android Player API is also available to us. So if I open up the file that we were working with before, which was our map events activity, so what I need to do is basically call actually it's not maps, it's in the detail. If I open up the detail activity and I'll go down for the play song, You'll notice I create the button like I did before. I created on listener. I have some parameters here, which is a start index and a few other things, autoplay, lightbox, how it's going to look on the screen. And you'll notice that there's an intent here. This will be not available until I import it. That's how I know that that's the YouTube standalone player is available. If I go through, you'll notice in putting this in here, I have something here, Google Developer Keys. So I need to come back and take care of that. But essentially, this is all I have to do once I have a developer key and an ID to actually be able to play that video. Very simple, very straightforward. So how do I get a developer key? If you go back again on the book, page 185, it talks about how to get a Google Maps API key. So what that looks like, if I flip back over here, this is the new look for the Google Developer Console, new at the time of this video at least. If you look, I have a key for browser-based applications, and I have a key for Android-based applications. So I'm going to need this key, and then I'm going to need to be able to go here to my APIs and make the YouTube data API, turn that on. Once I've done that, I will be able to play videos. So what I've done here is I've made a constant file, and I've put a constant, and if I click my keys, all this is a public static final string that has my key in it. So that's the key that I just showed you. Alright, so with that key, you are ready to go. Let's check one more thing. Let's look at our Android manifest for a second. Android manifest, and we want to look here. There's my map key in it. Alright, so that was for the mapping key. Okay, so we're good to go. We have our developer key in there. All we need now is a song. Now, one thing about videos on YouTube is that the author has to mark those things as being available to be played on a mobile device. So there is an API that you can use to search for videos that are mobile playable. I forget the exact key for it, but you can go Google that, but you have to use your developer key to do the search, which has to be a web key. So rather than doing that, just do hit or miss. Go out to Google, search for one of your favorite artists, take that key, and go ahead and drop it right here and make sure it'll play. Once you've done that and you've got it working, now what we'll need to do is extract that up a little bit. So what I did to incorporate this into our project is I went to that song Pojo that we were using before. So let's open that guy. And what I basically did is I added in a new string that is the YouTube video ID. I added that to the constructor here so I can create it in that service utility that I have, and then I did some accessors here that allow you to get and set to it. So if I open that service class, you'll see that this is our mock data that we're using until we create a data store. I added onto here all of the YouTube IDs that are for these videos. And again, if it says data is not available or unable to play music, most likely it's because the key is not mobile playable, or the ID is not mobile playable. If you've worked through that, you still are having problems, double check your API key, make sure that's correct, make sure you've registered it on the API site. After that, that's pretty much it. You're able to create your intent and play the videos, and you'll be able to do what you see here. So let's go ahead and try one more time just to make sure. Launch Jason Mraz. And that's all it is. It's all it takes to play a video from YouTube. So pretty straightforward, easy way of adding videos to your application.